What's up? What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Juma Mubarak to the Muslim community out there. So today is September 29th of 2023. And today, this evening, I'm going live. As you can see, the topic we're going to be discussing about Rashad Jamal, brother, Polight, and the predatory behavior in the conscious community. And I have a special guest. So I'm going to let this brother introduce himself. And he's going to give a little bit about his background, where he's from, and what he does. So I'm going to bring him on here. All right. All right. Peace, brother. How you doing?
Peace and
Go ahead.
blessings. How you doing? How you doing out there?
I'm doing all right. Go ahead, introduce yourself and
Okay.
tell us a little bit about your background and what you
Okay.
do for a living.
Okay. To the YouTube world out there, to the family out there. Before I even speak, sis, I just want to say that I'm really appreciative of this moment, right? Because you know, what I mean, this is rare for me. So there's no
Yeah.
doubt. I appreciate your presence, and I salute you for the queen, for what you are, for what you do out here in the game.
Thank
Consistently.
you.
You feel what I'm saying? So enough. I had to say that. I just can't jump in talking about me. I'm sorry. Plus you a lady. I got to know how are you doing? How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
feeling blessed.
Okay. Well, to your peoples out there, to the community out there, my name's Leo Ashanti B. Son Gathings. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is my second tribe. So I come from two tribes. You feel what
Okay.
I mean? But I'm connected with all my people. What I do, I'm a creative director. I am an entrepreneur, art gallery owner, and community activist, mentor, father, uh, employee, just very well-rounded filmmaker, just well-rounded edges in many different ways. So my resume kind of long, and I know people like, you don't do all that, but no, I really do all that. I do all that. Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. Wow, you got a beautiful resume there. But we'll talk more about that later. So you reached out to me, right? And you want to have a discussion about this subject regarding to what's going on in the conscious community, Brother Polight, Rashad Jamal, and Nature Boy, and the predatory behavior that's take place within and outside the community. Now, what made you decide to speak on this subject matter? And why is it so important for you to talk about it? Why?
Well, just from the tribe where I come from, let me just say this in short. The tribe I come from, we stand on law. So if something is out of order or something is extreme, I would be a coward of a man from the tribe I come from not to speak on it. If that made sense. Hopefully that made sense.
Oh
But
yeah, that
that's
makes
like
sense.
me as a man, as a black man in America, ain't no way I cannot talk about this. This is must. We must bring awareness on this. We must do critical forms when it comes down for people who in leadership positions. You know what I mean? Just be 100, sis. That shit hurt me. I ain't gonna lie, sis. I'm a tough dude. I'm a tough dude. But me as a man and seeing brothers that are supposed to be conscious, whether they health conscious, whether they're financially, they financially conscious and they can put the community on the game, whether they, whatever form, I'm gonna be honest, as a black man, I love to see my brothers speaking on law and kicking where they tribe from it and giving the knowledge and all this. Just, they ain't doing nothing wrong in my eyes. Not saying you gotta like a person or this, that. I can disagree with a person, this, but on any black man, when we in these positions, that shit hurt me here, part of my Swahili. It hurt me here, that shit did, to see these brothers in certain positions, not saying they internationally, no, but in certain areas in life, our people know about them. Like, oh, that's fam up over there. They no different from a musician. They're no different from a business owner. They are like just that they're known in a unique way, and it's supposed to be in an influencing way, in an invoking way, in doing something impactful. not of destruction. It's supposed to be construction. If we just gonna talk about building, and when you and every name that you said, they to a certain degree they were in leadership positions, whether it was of the tribe they come from, or whether it just was of them as a man to what they want to give to the world. You feel me? And to see this type of, and to see it, man, it's like, oh, I was so hurt to see it because I get tired of this shit. I'm in Jacksonville. I know enough niggas killing niggas. I know enough brothers who lock the fuck up. I don't want to know about prison. I know about that environment. I don't want to know about it. And to know that these brothers that's supposed to stand on this type of moral compass, nobody forced certain people to be in leadership positions. Certain brothers chose to take this direction and walk a life, like myself and like a sister like you, and say, you wake up thinking of ways on what you can do to help, what can you do to make better for your people. And it's not that I'm a racist. No, I just cater to my people. And to see these type of brothers in these positions, it brings up betrayal to Black women. Now they might look at me and it might add extra conflict, like all these conscious brothers, because the representation of what's been done already, that shit make every Black man in a leadership position within the conscious community. Like I say, whether you teach kids on the weekends, whether you clean up the community and pick up the paper, whether you teach kids how to play the piano, or whether you teach health in the community. No matter what you do, no matter what, this as a Black man, we all should be hurt by this, because this is not a good representation on standing on law. I can't speak for every tribe across the world. I'm just speaking for those who are descendants of slaves. I'm more of a nationalist. I love all my African brothers from all over the world, but I'm here in America, and I'm not ashamed to say that the Black leadership positions. You feel me? Moral compass, they off they square, and that shit hurt. That shit is like, you feel me, like that. I thank you for letting me get all this out too. I thank you, because I was angered. Like the situation with Polight. I know a lot of people, sis, and that's direct. This person I know that's personally a holistic practitioner in Jacksonville, Florida. He's a brother. He's a man. I don't even know if I'm gonna say his name is Craig, if I'm not mistaken. But anywho, about 2 years ago, he informed me, and I was just saying something positive on Polight. I'm like, I like that the brother put out financial knowledge out there. He talking about money. Have I ever done business with him? No, fuck no.
Right.
Have I ever talked to him on a phone type shit? No. Does he know my middle name? No. I don't know. But what he represents and what the YouTube videos that got the most views, he talking about us in a beautiful way. In an intellectual way. A nigga like me that come from death, I'm sorry, sis, but a person like me that come from death, I love to see brothers come from an aspect where they feeding our souls. And that's what you do. That's what we all supposed to be doing. But everybody don't want to be on that front street on YouTube, on social media, because that brings a lot of energy. That brings a lot of people not built to be in those leadership positions. And just in conclusion, sister, shit hurt me. It hurt me. And standing on law, whatever consequences they gotta go through when they encounter different tribes of brothers that stand on different laws in that environment where they're at now, that's something that them brothers gotta deal with. And I totally embrace enforcement of law. I come from an in-order environment. You feel me? And when law been broken, no. Justice definitely has to be enforced, and some disciplinary action has to be shown. Whether you in a leadership position or whether you just a observer, wrong is fucking wrong. It's too much sickness and toxicity in the world to where every representation of us, it needs to be of light. Because through this phone, there's so much destruction that's given through this motherfucker. It's so many taking over right now. And it's just taking over more. I saw a video today. Sis, I'm sorry, I'm switching. I ain't gonna switch the conversation, but he's a young conscious brother. I don't agree with his behavior in a lot of things, but I embrace certain characteristics about him. His name Young Pharaoh. Today, sis, the brother threatened his baby mama. He's saying what he's gonna do my baby mama get on my nerves, but I would never fucking want to see her. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
We are breaking off code. I understand you might have baby mama drama. I understand that. And if she's a woman, period, hopefully she is of a descendant of what you are. But if she's a woman and y'all done created life, and now you got niggas that want to sleep with, we just speaking on law. We speak, and the only law that I can speak on is the tribe I come from. Because you know why, sis? It was some brothers saying, oh, well, if he was in this country and da 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 da. I understood that. I'm like, the but part is, I don't come from that tribe. My grandmother from Greenville, Mississippi. Frucy Gatherings. Billy Jones, my grandfather from I forgot which part of Mississippi. So they, of course, the bloodline was etc. through, you know, the historical trauma of slavery and all that, the bloodline, da 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 da. But I know I talk about my tribe of where I come from. We got a tribe right here in Black America. We got an identity. We created so much that I embrace this tribe of Black America. I'm that brother. That's just me. I love my brothers from Nigeria to Brazil to Dominican. Mm-hmm. But I'm talking specifically to on a nationalist level, not the internal tribe. I'm just talking collectively right now. We talking in 360 degrees. These brothers breaking losses, and I don't know. I'm just the observer because I don't know none of these guys personally.
Right.
None of them. But I know that the lane that they're in, even though I'm in my lane of like art, you feel what I'm saying? I do what I do in my lane, you know, to support Black art, blah, blah, blah. These brothers, they in that lane of giving biblicals and, you know, breaking things down and doing studies and all. That's beautiful. That is needed. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But it hurt me. I can imagine what the family's going through.
Yeah.
The girl with Polight. Imagine what this young lady's going through psychologically. I can't fucking imagine. It's like psychologically. And on top of when you think about the sick behavior with this, when I think of, I go deep. I come from a world of violence, so I know sick motherfuckers. You got 4 queens, homie. You got 4 queens, and you don't have self-control as a man. Whatever demonic force took over that motherfucker that got him guilty, that's just the tribe I come. He's a motherfucker. He needs to be treated like until then. But we just speaking on law. We don't do that type of law over here. And it's too many brothers. It's too many stories coming out where sisters, even and this is the sad part about it. If these brothers doing that, I want to know what happened to them.
That's a good question.
I work in mental health. I don't want to say I'm licensed with the fucking state type shit. I don't want to sit on here and brag about my edge, but I'm speaking on law. That's all right. The smart people that say, well, who are you talking, nigga? I'm educated. I got my fucking degrees. You feel me? I'm just being 100.
Right.
We speaking on law, sis. That's a
good question. What prompted them to want to do these type of activities? And the only thing we could think of is the fact that the individuals are sick in the head. But why are they sick in the head is the question. You see what I'm saying?
That question, I couldn't ask. That mean I would have to go and we would really have to be like a therapist and sit there and like dissect their life and say.
What we know is about a lot of people I don't mean to cut you off, but what we know is about a lot of people in the conscious community. A lot of those individuals, right, or you know, a lot of people that's in the conscious community come from a detrimental background. Let's just put it like that. Some of
I
them
get
they came from the streets. They came from being in prison. Then you got those that's been in the military. Then you got those who have been to college or whatnot. But for the most part, you're dealing with people who come from the streets and they were former drug addicts, drug dealers. Uh, they've been incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things they could pick up. And then somebody like Polight used to be a Nuwapian, right?
Yeah, pardon me, sis. Can I say something, beloved, before you?
Yeah.
Because I want to forget this thought.
Okay.
Just on exactly what you said about the backgrounds of certain brothers. You know what I'm saying? Of course, there should be investigations done already. You know what I'm saying? People in certain leadership positions, their resume should already be, presented to whatever it is that they're doing. But I say this to say, I'm the type of brother. I come from a beautiful life. I got a loving family, and I come from an environment, sis, where I personally know I have done things that I didn't mean to do. There was some ignorant street shit, but the man that I am now, the foundation that I built, that I stand on, you feel what I'm saying? And I say this to say we all done some form of wrong. So I'm not gonna knock any brother who might have had a product and sold it and to generate money. Cause I might look at that from a whole nother aspect. You got to
Right,
understand.
right,
I,
right, right.
and I say this humbly, sis. I come
Uh-huh.
from the tribe of Black America, where tobacco companies had tobacco slaves. We wasn't just in cotton fields, we was in tobacco fields. So if they making billions of dollars off of addictive product, what's wrong with my brother? What's wrong with my brother distributing what he doing? And that's the number one killer. That's just me. I don't want to get too deep with this conversation. But I will never judge my brother, any brother, because I got
I mean, right,
family
right,
members.
right, right,
I got so many family members and friends that took that path. That wasn't
right.
my type of thing.
You too.
But I'm understanding on why some brothers might did it. From in certain areas, that's what the women love. They love the dope boys. So some brothers are influenced with the structure of that lifestyle.
Right,
So it's I'm just saying, so I'm not the type of I'm still gonna give a person the opportunity to
right.
be who they are, because we all are a book, and
Oh yeah,
everybody got a page about something that maybe we might have lost our control or did something a little too far, hitting somebody, it's something, you know what I mean? But the more and more we go through our book is where we supposed to have more control, because we're supposed to become what? Through all this experience, that's wisdom. You feel
right,
me?
right,
I'm just speaking on the tribe of the law I come from. Pardon me, sis,
right,
but
right. I
I
got
don't
you.
mean to cut you off. I just want to say, what I'm saying, judging brothers because because some brothers are they come from certain backgrounds.
Right,
I
right.
but
And it's
but
not
I
a
think we
place
need
for
to be understanding. That's all I'm gonna say, because there's a lot of brothers that come from, like Malcolm X. He's a prime example that came
yeah,
from a very different background. It's a lot of revolutionary brothers. Huey P. Newton, growing up in Oakland, California. It wasn't the nicest of the area, you feel me? He could have got involved on some gangbang type shit and all, but he chose to be righteous. But to other people in society, he was considered a violent man. He was considered angered. You feel what I'm saying? So that brother, so I say this to say, it's many brothers in revolutionary, the tribe that, the collective tribe that I come from in Black America, that come from incarceration,
yeah.
that come
Oh yeah.
from, and they transition their life, or they refuse to become a statistic type shit. You feel
Right,
me? So,
right,
I'm not gonna knock, I'm just saying, baby, I'm not gonna knock no man, no brother specifically, if he has to do what he got to do to generate money. I'm understanding. This country was built. Do I promote it? No, that's sickening. Do I glorify it? No, no, no. But I'm understanding you made the wrong decision, bro. You should have known. But you're a grown man. You feel me? But we come from a culture where drugs it's a normal occupation in certain tribes.
right, right. And I'm with you. You have a point, because a lot of people come from those backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? So when they get across information like this, they find a way to like transform their lives and become better individual. And then for some, it's an opportunity for them to make more money. So they say, hey, I don't have to sell drugs. Why would I have to do this when I can just go ahead and do this? And so when we look at people like Rashad Jamal and Brother Polight, the conscious community, right? And I want to ask you about the state of the conscious community, but the conscious community is a catalyst for individuals to come in and market and make profit, because you're preying off the vulnerability of individuals, people who are in dire need of knowledge, who are in dire need of healing, spirituality, and all that. So the conscious community is a catalyst for that, so people can make money. And I want to ask you, like, how do you feel about the state of the conscious community?
At a stage right now, as far as when it comes down to information, I feel that we are at one of the highest peaks that ever could be. My bad, sis. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I ain't see a video. I'm sorry. I was saying, I feel currently right now, the conscious community, the Black conscious community in America, we're at the highest, most elite level when it comes down to being aware, informative, knowledgeable, highly educated, because we have access to social media. You feel me? So we can read, we can do our own research, our own case studies. So knowledge-wise, I feel a lot people can learn about any form of history, whether they want to fall into, if they want to go extra deep, and people look at different tribes of Africa. You can learn about it. You can learn different languages right now. It's accessible. That's a beautiful thing. Meaning we should be as smart as we are, specifically Black Americans, as elite we are as far as thinkers and creators and builders. We financially and informative, I think we're there. When it comes down morally, now this is the parts that it's like morally, there's so much unrighteous moral conduct that it depresses, how can I articulate this? It depresses everything that's being built. It depresses it completely. It's like me, for instance. It's like, I'm gonna use me as an example. I don't want to sound like I'm talking bad about anybody or anything. Let's just say I stay next door to you. I'm a nice guy. Hey, baby, I'm real smooth. I speak to you. Da 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 da. I even give you fruit. I even say, hey, don't you don't touch garbage no more. Hey, homie, I'm gonna pay you so you can. I treat you so nice, right? All these beautiful qualifications, but in the middle of the night, you hear of me doing to a woman. That is such a demonic force, that all the good that I was doing, that I was nice. I seemed like a nice guy. I was well put together, and et cetera, but I got this, and I'm doing something so hurtful. Not saying even got to be physical, but it's so hurtful that it kills next time. So now when you see me, and now that you know both sides of the person, you're going to look at that person like, 1 second.
Okay.
I'm sorry, sis.
Okay. All right. So while the brother's stepping away, let me answer some questions in chat. So somebody put measure twice, cut once, verify before you trust. Oh, that's deep. I like that. Measure twice, cut once, verify before you trust. Shout out to you, brother. All right.
I'm
So
sorry about that, sis.
okay. It's all good. It's all good. For me, I would say this.
But what about you though? How you feel?
Yeah. For
You
me,
didn't give me your perspective.
yeah, because
Internally.
I was letting you talk. So for me, for somebody who has been in the conscious community on and off for about the past 12, 13 years, right? When I first got into it, I thought it was a beautiful thing to see that a group of Black people coming together, right? And just sharing information, because I never really seen so much like it besides church, but
Yeah.
and of course the mosque. But other than that, I never seen so much like it. Just seeing black people bringing in knowledge and information, trying to educate the people. But then when I start going deep into the surface, because I went to school for sociology, and in
Okay.
sociology, what you learn about social interaction and social groups. So I took what I learned from sociology, right, and I applied that to my own experience.
Okay.
So I started seeing some red flags that was going on. I said, okay, what this is not seeming too well. And for somebody
I
who
watch
had,
your Facebook. Yeah.
yeah, it was not just Facebook, but in person, I was like, something don't seem to be right here. What's going on? And so then when I got deep into the surface, I said, oh, okay, now this is very suspicious. This is unexpected.
Yeah.
And so I didn't, and then I had a friend of mine who had warned me in the past. He was a male. He had warned me. He said, "Don't get too caught up in the conscious community.
Hmm.
It's a lot of bullshit going on." And I wasn't paying no attention because by me being a newbie, whatever, I didn't pay no attention. Then I started realizing what he was talking about. I said, "Okay, yeah, I see what he's saying now."
Yeah.
So I'm just hearing a lot of misinformation, a lot of predatory behavior, a lot of domestic violence towards women. I said, I don't know. I can't really rock with this too much. I mean, I could take what I learned and then I can use it for my own personal experience, but everything else I gotta disregard because I can't really deal with that. And so at one point in time, I was a Hebrew Israelite. So I used to practice I was in the Hebrew Israelite culture for 2 years.
Okay.
And it was a beautiful experience for me, but I had to stop because I could not continue on to serving the Sabbath, which is on the Saturday. That's the seventh day.
Okay.
And also, I had some questions about the teachings, right, about the Bible. When I now remind you, these Hebrew Israelites that I was with, they were African centered, very African centered. So I was like, okay, I can deal with that. That's cool. They very African centered, but
Yeah.
they still go to the Bible. But they were not the type that you see on the streets yelling and cussing people out. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? And they
Did they
wanted
have a dress
they were very
attire? Like,
peaceful. They were very, what I'm saying, they was about community.
right.
But long story short, so over the years, there was things that was going on. It was a lot of egotism. It was like people that wanted to just get into just profit, make money.
Yeah.
And
Sis, can I ask you a question though, baby? Can I ask a question, beloved? Because I don't want my mind to skip.
okay, go ahead.
What's wrong? What's wrong with somebody getting money?
It's nothing wrong. Hold on, it's nothing wrong with that. But where's your intentions?
Right.
You gotta look at the intention. What is your purpose? Are you out here scamming the people? When I say get money, when I'm talking about you got individual who's scamming the folks or
Uh,
present misinformation to people. You know what I'm saying? Just so they can condition them or bring some type of mind control so they can be able to profit off of the misinformation they giving people. Like cults,
yeah.
basically. You know what I'm saying? And then, being able to scam people like Polight. He was known for scamming. See, I had a lot of admiration for Polight in the beginning. I said, okay, this brother cool, he knowledgeable, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But then I started seeing red flags when him and Seti was going back and forth. They had a debate. And Seti pretty much exposed a lot of things. I was like, whoa. I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, let me fall back on this individual. And then what
Said
really got me about Polight, this is what really got me. When I found out there was a video, he claimed that he had started a business, a construction business. Come to find out that that business belonged to someone else. Because an individual stepped forward and said, no, that's not his business. That's my business. I said, now how do you do that? And then he started talking about the tax lien. I said, wait a minute, what the hell is going on here?
mm,
People was like really falling for a lot of this stuff, and it's really sad. And
yeah.
in some way, I really blame individuals for giving certain people the spotlight without doing investigation. You know what I'm saying? Without even interrogating or asking questions as far as like what their purpose is. You know what I mean? But This is why I always advocate people should study psychology. And I'm glad that you brought up about mental health. People should study psychology first because you have to understand the mindset of individuals. You know what I mean? You have to study all various forms of psychology if you can. We talking about cognitive, analytical, also what's the other one? Evolutionary psychology. We have to study psychology in general and anthropology because you study the with anthropology is basically studying the culture of humanity, studying people in general, right? But psychology, you have to deal with the psychosis and the mindset. So when I went to school for sociology, of course, psychology falls under that. So you learn about social interaction, social behavior, and stuff. But yeah, you have to understand how the mind works and how the mind can be programmed,
Yeah.
how people can fall into deception, and how people is able to deceive people. Because what people have to realize that is the mind is the most powerful tool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the everything else is gonna fall along. If the mind is corrupted, then the
Yeah.
body is going to fall along with the mind because pretty much
Now,
the mind is messed up. So you know what I mean. So if you don't control your mind or have power over it, and being able to make sure that keep it under control or protect it as much as possible, then you can get taken advantage of. But like you mentioned, Black people here in America, what we've been through, what we have experienced, a lot of us don't know about our history. A lot of us don't know about our ancestry. All we know is about slavery, right? And we don't really know too much about slavery, right? We don't even know too much about civil rights. We only been given limited amount of information that has only got us so far. But at the same time, we all we see is negativity in how we've been perpetrated on media, how we've been perpetrated in music, and all these different things. So we always been like the commodity for everybody else, right? And
yeah.
it's been easy for people to profit off of us. But guess what? Everybody else, the people that's profiting off of us, they benefit in their community. But we don't have nothing for our community, right? But that's kind of like besides the point. The whole thing I'm trying to get at is you're dealing with a case of people who are sick and very broken, right? So this is the side of humanity that we have to learn and that we have to be aware of, that when it comes to the good, it's going to be the bad. When it comes to the prey, there's going to be the predator.
Yeah.
When it comes to this uh when it comes to function, there's gonna be those who are dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Gotta look at that. So one thing I learned by reading the Kabbalion, right, which is a book that's written by three initiate. The Kabbalion speaks about polarity and duality. So there's always gonna be the opposite.
Can you say that term for me one more time, sis, the P word?
Kabbalion,
Oh,
Kyblion.
okay.
Right? And it's written by three initiates. It's a pretty decent book. It deals with science from a spiritual level, pretty much. But in that book, you learn about the law of polarity and duality. You know what I'm saying? So with the good, that's gonna always be the bad.
Ain't
And
nothing wrong with bad though, sis. See, this is me. The tribe, I'm sorry. I just gotta say, sis,
no,
ain't
no,
nothing
but
wrong.
no, hold on. But
Pardon
when
me.
we deal with the extent level of
We
predatory
talking about
behavior,
sick. It's a
yeah, the
difference to me.
sickness.
It's a
Yes, okay,
difference.
yeah, okay,
I
let's just use that.
understand. I understand a man. If I test a man on the street, sis, and I test a man will and he do violence to me, I deserve violence being done to
Right,
me.
right, right, right. That's a different story. But
So,
when I'm talking
so
about
that's
when we talking
bad.
about
That's like,
predatory
damn. You know what I'm
behavior,
saying? Sick is for a man of my age to be beefing with a 15-year-old or a
right,
teenager. You know what? That's sick. This is a
right, and this is the
this is
thing,
I'm supposed to be guiding him. You feel me? I'm supposed to be building him. So I don't know if that makes sense.
right? It
Are
makes sense.
raping.
It
No,
makes
let's
sense.
talk
But
about the topic. Are raping. That's fucking sick.
yes, it is sick.
I understand if somebody might do something bad.
Right,
I understand. I'm
I
not
mean,
no
that
angel.
goes
I'm not
beyond
gonna
bad.
sit up here. I'm far from an angel, but what I can say is I'm not a sick fuck. You
No,
gotta.
no, no, no,
I
no. No.
curse. I sip a little red wine, and I smoke holistically meditations. So to some people, that's considered bad. I curse. Da 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 da.
Right, right,
I'm
right,
not.
right.
Their behavior. What I'm saying, sis, their behavior is sick
Yeah,
mentally.
absolutely. It is. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It is
You
sick.
feel
It's,
me?
yeah, it is sick. Yeah, it's a lot of sickness. So what the thing is, when we deal with humanity, this is what you learn about the side of humanity, the dark side. And the dark side is you're gonna have people who appear to be sane or appear to be very calm or normal, but when you go into deeper surface, right, and you start to point out things or notice things about them as far as their behavior, you'll see there's the sickness. So we know that humanity has sickness going on, and it ain't just started yesterday or 2 weeks ago or
Right.
a year ago. It's been going on since the beginning of evolution, since the beginning of humanity.
Well,
You know what I'm
I,
saying?
now
So what you
see,
dealing with
I
is
feel that we
these.
talking
Hold on,
with emotion,
hold on, real quick. What you
right?
dealing, what you're dealing with is these individuals who have animalistic behavior that they don't have they don't know how to keep under control. You know what I'm saying? Or they don't want to control because they want to use that behavior as a way to dominate and to prey on those who are more than likely going to be victimized.
Hmm,
You know,
that's
so
fact.
yeah. But what you wanted to say something? Go ahead.
This conversation so intense. Is I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest. It just, you know what I'm saying. But I just was just I was talking about the sick and the bad.
Oh
I
yeah,
was,
yeah, 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 yeah. We got
the point I
on
want
that.
the point I wanted to point out, because we talk about the word self control.
Mm-hmm.
Self control. This speaks high volume, and how there is a lack of a high level of lacking having self control as a black man. These examples of behavior, you know, when you're in a superior position, when you're in an authoritative position, maybe, you know, that's like a manager on a job that can delegate or something like that. When you're in a position like this speaks volume on the level of when it hurts to say this. It's like, damn, you give a black man power and this type of conduct. You feel what I'm saying? Let those brothers that we know that are morally compass in tune. I think that definitely needs to be more to anybody in a leadership position, man. You know, and it's just self control. It's written all over it. Lacking self control, written over all their names. Lacking self, somewhere in their brain. You know, I be trying to think so deep about it, sis, because some of our people, you know, they just worked in the cotton field. Some of them were framers. Some of them were fighters. Some of us are descendants of, depending on your slave occupation, your job. And some of us were used for sex, you know, to reproduce, to be confined in an environment where a man, his job is only to do one thing. So, and sometimes I say to myself that this sick behavior, this sick trauma, skip into bloodlines of certain people. I'm just being honest about it. Because some of us, not saying I don't think I do, but some people really, they can trace back. They had sex barns. This man's job was just to lay down pike, nothing else. That was his duty. It might have been about his side. So you look at these individuals, and I ask it's like, damn, do they come from that bloodline of traumatized, you know, that carried over? We all carried over something that was inside of us. And that's when, you know, the more shadow work that we do, the more meditation and all the things that a lot of conscious brothers and sisters promote, you know, about the holistic. When we really are implementing those things in our life, that helps whatever it is that's sickening. Because I used to have a sickening inside of me, sis. I'm gonna be this humble in this conversation. I used to have a sickening of violence. And I mean to say this, I'm just gonna be honest with it. I'm not
Okay,
ashamed to
what do
say
you mean
I
by virals?
violent,
Oh,
violent,
violent. Okay, violent. Okay,
violent.
okay.
I used to be very violent.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't afraid of something happening to me, or I was sick. I had a high level of lacking control somewhere, and I look at my bloodline. I say, wow, this person is highly kind of aggressive at moments, you know. So I look at myself, and I had to tap into it. And so to want to do something to the darkest of the darkest level of a person, to me, is that a man can do to a woman. This is just me. I don't want to get too deep in this conversation. When a man and a man build love, pause. When a brother and brother build love, usually they go through a rites of passage where they both have a goal and they have accomplished it. So they become brothers. They go through a journey together, whether it was on the streets or whether it was in school, whatever experience it was with your friend, and they developed a brotherhood, right? With a man and a woman, with a man and a woman, the closest of love that we come through in the flesh is with the expression that we give to our queen. Does that make sense, sis? So the opposite, let's just say I'm on the opposite type of time. So that's the beauty of life. That's the moral compass. I'm being my brother's keeper. He support me. Bro, I got your back. Your car flat, I got you, homie. You know what I'm saying? Don't even worry about it. You know, I pay for this. I don't even worry. If you need some help, you can help me out, bro. Hey, that's your brother. So that's my love that I give to my brother. But to my sisters, me as a man, I express myself differently. So the worst that I can do to my brother is do violence to him and take his life, or he takes mine. That's the worst that I can do. To a woman is either I can love her with the best expression that I can as a man, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, or else I can go into a dark side where these individuals, and we have to be honest as human beings, we understand cause and the cause and effect. We know morally. It hurts to even, talk about things like this. You know what I'm saying? Just
All
knowing
right.
that, you know what I'm saying? The shit it hurts. Just think
Oh
about,
yeah, it
you know what I'm
definitely
saying? It's
is.
like, damn, why the fuck we can't be talking about Dr. Umar just got 1.2 million type shit and he opened up 2 more schools? You feel what I'm saying? Why can't it be something? You feel what I mean? Why can't it be it's like it hurt. It's like fuck.
It hurts,
Fuck.
but we have
It,
to.
it, it hurt. It hurt. Because it's a Friday in America. And in America where I'm at, in certain areas, there's gonna be a lot of deaths. There's gonna be a lot of black men that's gonna lose their life. There's gonna be another statistic, a fucking number. They'll never be able to reproduce and make love and experience breathing deep breaths. They'll never experience that. And to know that, damn, we got leaders.
Mhm. But
Oh
then
man,
the question becomes: Are they really?
it's like I want to yell, like,
I
wow, like
understand.
what if
I
this is
totally
going
get.
on? If this going on, what the fuck else is going on? It's
Oh,
like
it's a lot that's going on. It's a lot of things that's going
I
on.
don't
So
even
let
want
me
to
ask you
know it.
this. Let me ask you this. How do we go about explaining? Because I know you work with children, correct?
Correct.
Okay. How do you go about explaining or having a conversation with children regarding to if somebody do anything predatory against them, such as sexual abuse and rape or whatnot? How do you think that information should go about to them? Being brought to their attention so they will be able to know.
Well, first, the parent, the parents, kids are innocent. Their brain, the human brain, specifically in black men, the cognitive thinking, the frontal bone doesn't stop fucking growing until they're in their 20s. In their mid-20s. That's why a lot of brothers do dumbass mistakes and dumb shit usually in our 20s. Like myself, I made a lot of mistakes. But I say this to say, it starts with the parents first. Before I can even dissect the kid and say anything as far as the parents, that's the first thing. That's the parents' responsibility to protect, to nourish, to pour water into. You feel me? So automatically, the child should know spiritually, I know love. Like Paul's, like I know fucking love. I don't need. I know real love. So if you recognize real love, when you ever saw a baby go up to somebody and they stop and look, it could be a foul odor or something, like the baby just stopped and like, and it's just something they just don't want to quite. That form of uncomfortability should be automatically taught into us. That's tapping in right there. A lot of us talk about tapping in and doing shadow work. It's a dark place we have to go, but we have to tap in and be realistic and say there are rapists in society. So there's nothing wrong with the black woman tonight watching a TV show, teaching them this is what you're gonna have to avoid. Prevention measures. There's nothing wrong to plant seeds. When you love something, you protect it. You're gonna prevent anything from it being fucked up. You're gonna protect it. You're gonna put your life on it. You feel me? So automatically somewhere that kid wasn't taught, baby. Automatically something wasn't right. So that was something, it's deeper than that. But what we can do is teach other parents and say, hey, talk to your parent. We need to all as adults, whether you got nephews or nieces, whether you are an adult. To anybody out there that think that, oh, I ain't got no kids yet, fuck that. You are a leader. A parent is a mentor. A parent is an educator. Don't belittle yourself and feel that, oh, they're not my kids. No, because collectively as a community, if I see any of the little homies out of line, I'm gonna put them in line. And that's a prevention measure. You feel me? So ain't nothing wrong with setting seeds into specifically girls and boys, because there's so many boys that's being touched right now. There's so many little girls. This is outrageous. They need to be taught early. If somebody X, Y, and Z, no, you might not be able to watch it, to express it to them as a parent. You need to watch a movie with them. You need to watch a scene and something to have balance with their brain, to let them. I learned a lot of shit my daddy used to watch. We used to watch gangster movies when I was younger, just being honest. So that's how he taught me. That's how he taught me. That was like a weird way to teach me. He say, son, you can either be like this nigga Nino Brown, and you see all this shit that he got. And he was just educating me, taking prevention measures that I don't fall into this easy demonic lifestyle to where violence is involved, to where So we have to be blunt and honest with ours first off. So they got that psychological seed. It shouldn't matter their age. As soon as they able to communicate, they should know if somebody touch your genital area, if they should know distancing yourself with space. Definitely parents, man. I fault the parent, not saying the mother. It just makes me question the parents. That's the first thing. Is he the real father? Like, I mean, not even if he was the real father, he's a fucking man. I'm sorry to even say that. As a fucking man, like, what type of a woman would have had to know something? I don't even want to go deep into his case because we know what happened. We ain't got to talk about that. But what prevention measures? I think parents need to be more proactive. Whether you got nephews or nieces, be proactive and teach them. Hey, and if you have any form of curiosity, don't be out here pointing blame, trying to set brothers up though. Don't be, because see, I'm gonna be 100 with you, sis. I've been an activist damn near all my life. I'm not no angel now. I'm not, but I say this humbly. Me as a black man, seeing things like this, things that I know of, it made me uncomfortable to do youth programs. It kind of made me because there was so many, when you, and this is the part that hurts me as a revolutionist. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because now you got black parents that's not comfortable to have. that are, you think that your kids are going to be hurt. That's the sick world that we have come to, where we don't think that we're going to protect them and educate them and say, no, you don't do that. You don't talk like that. You don't, we're going to plant seeds of love. You feel me? We live in a world now where I don't want my kids around nobody. No, you can't go over there. You can go over there if I go over there. But that we're not even the tribes are being so plant those seeds early in the kids. Don't be ashamed to be honest.
You're right. Don't be ashamed to be honest. I agree. Now let's also look at let's look at the predatory behavior outside of the so-called conscious community. And let's look at what goes on within public spaces or institutions such as religious institution in the schools. Also what's happening in the family. Because, there are a significant amount of us that grew up in a household where our loved one that we trust the most have done things to violate us or violate someone else in the family. Right? Now, let's get into that conversation. Because that's very sensitive in itself when it comes to your own relatives doing things. Right? When it comes to your relatives, or when it comes to going to institutions where you feel like, where it's supposed to be very protective and a sacred place.
Yeah.
But things are happening behind the scene, and there are people that know what's going on, but they're not saying anything or they're not speaking up. And
Well, first I'm gonna talk with the relatives. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest about it. Like I say, I come from a tribe where law is enforced. When somebody does something wrong, foul, sickening, sickening is a bacteria. If that bacteria isn't killed off with the antibiotic, it's like pouring bleach on bacteria. That bacteria is gonna grow and grow. Sickening is death. You feel me? So the tribe I come from, people will address it in a form of justice that will make whatever sickness is being done so uncomfortable. Either two things are going to occur. Either this virus and sickness individual is going to go far away in a matter of hours, maybe a 48-hour day notice type thing. That's just going to be honest. Or else some form of expression is going to be expressed in a verbal form, in a physical form that could affect, you know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? That's the tribe I come from. I can't relate to some people. God, I talk to brothers. Oh man, I remember my brother, he tried to fuck my girl. I can't relate to that shit. I come from a tribe. If that's your queen, this your queen, that's law. No, that's your queen. That's your queen. You feel me? So I can't relate to certain things. All I know is that from observation, justice was enforced. It's not too much talking in the tribe where I'm coming from. When you love something, you will fight for it. You will bleed for it. That's if you love it. You will do anything to protect it. It's like a plant. You don't want any flies coming near it, no fucking mosquitoes. You're gonna kill them flies. You're gonna kill those fucking mosquitoes. You're not gonna pour any foul water. No, you want the water to be clear. Whatever you feed it. You feel me? So, yeah. I'm sorry, sis. I get a little long-winded, man.
Oh no, you great.
I get a little,
you hitting on the point.
This is therapeutic for me, like real talk. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you letting me, get this out, man. What's the other now? I don't know his full case, but and then sis, I'm not trying to, we some smart people, right? And I said to myself, I was just trying to say to myself, like, is this a conspiracy theory? I'm just being honest.
Unfortunately, it's not.
Unfortunately, it's not. It's like, damn, this shit is real. They talking about DNA. This ain't just no, somebody, this is real life. This is like, wow, like, damn, yeah. And he was a polygamist. That when you talk about self control, I can imagine if he did that, I can imagine with any woman that he was with on what type of behavior he was doing. You feel me? On some sick behavior, not no, like just being a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? A man being a certain type. I don't even say bad, just being a certain type of man. Sick. I can only imagine, this just happened to come to light. See, one thing about me, that's why I stay an open book. I'm public. My government name, Leo Ashanti Gathings. I don't have, no, I'm ex-military. I got put out. I was in, I've experienced that dumb environments such as jail. I, I've experienced being around the world. I've experienced a lot. That's why I stay an open book as the leader that I am with my tribe. That lets me communicate with them so we can navigate on which direction we are going to build. Are we going to build more toward the south or the north? Whatever I'm doing to build with. Anything else is the opposite. It's destruction. Destruction is death. Sick behavior is death.
Ooh, sick behavior is death.
Sick behavior is death. Rather in that victim, the young lady, I can't imagine, man, she's gonna need therapy, man. That's so many forms of humiliation. The psychological aspect of her being a woman, I wonder that could be very hard for her to develop trust with any man. That could make her possibly, question her. I know woman, but not saying that would make a person become, like. I'm trying to be that not saying that person will become an LGBT community, but I could see I'm having me working in the field what I work in is that a lot of people that are in the certain community that are in certain sexual
orientation
communities, a lot of them have a collective one thing in common. Something was done sexually to them when they were a kid. That's one thing from my observation, just being in the medical field, and you know what I'm saying, and working one-on-one at a foster home. I'm not gonna say my job title, but I'm one-on-one with, that's hip and shit. That's another conversation. I never could but for me as a professional, me as a my 9 to 5, I work a 9 to 5, even on the weekends, depending, work, and I work with the state. I work in public health. So I come across a lot of mental health. You know what I mean? So I don't want nobody to get what he talking about. No, I live my life. Even at this art gallery, this facility where I'm at, we implement what we can to build. You feel me? And that's what it's about, man. And this level of destruction right here, man, it's like, I just can't imagine, man, the ripple effect. The ripple effect. Like, and she probably gonna look at her mama like, Ma, you, in a certain degree, when something does happen to a child and the mother or the father is, sometimes I can understand why a child might start feeling a certain, so that's gonna lead, it's so many. I pray that she overcomes this and she heals through this and be able to function normally in life, to where she's able to get back to maybe hanging out with her peers, or she might feel uncomfortable being around a black man as a teacher, because from my observation, a lot of them are teachers, right? So here it is. They, I don't want to overtalk, sis, baby. You know what I mean?
right.
But I know you got things you got to do, and we can do a part 2 on this because I really enjoyed this, beloved.
Okay, yeah. So I really enjoyed the conversation too. I mean, you have touched some points. I mean, a lot of points at that, and you really went in and really expressed yourself and just put all your feelings out there. Will put all your thoughts out there, and those everything that you said pretty much is needed to be said. It needed
Yeah.
to be put out there in the forefront. So, what would you say to the conscious community in itself If you had anything to say regard to the predatory behavior, regard to abuse, and settle the scamming and all that, what would you say to the conscious community?
Unrighteous. Is either you're gonna be righteous, you either gonna be pro-righteous or you're gonna be unrighteous. You know? Collectively, that's what those two terms, righteous, unrighteous. Unfortunately, but I'm not gonna, cause it's so many beautiful people out here, man, that's putting in work, that's
Oh
down
yeah.
like yourself. It's so I don't wanna, but I thank you for letting me talk about these specific situations, you know what I'm saying, that's currently occurring right now, man. You know what I mean? So like I say, like before you get off, sis, check out that video. The young brother, man, he's losing it.
Young
His
Pharaoh,
code,
oh yeah, I'm very so aware of that.
his level of code and conduct, like
It's a lot of them.
he got a lot of young brothers in they, like, 18, 19, that follow him. Bro, your code and conduct, his representation, that's another lot. You know what? Anytime you want to do this, we gonna do this again. How about that?
Okay, well, we can always come back and do it again.
On
Uh,
different, we can twist this conversation up, sis. We can twist it up. I would love to. I enjoy myself, beloved. Real talk.
oh, and I really appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Tell the listening audience what's the name of your gallery, your art museum, or your business that you have.
Oh, it's Being Son Art Gallery. Also, Being Son Arts and Culture Center. We are a nonprofit where we improve the lives through artistic expression. You know what I'm saying? So, if you are an artist out there, you want to come on the mic and express yourself. If you an author, if you a vendor, you want to come and get you some money, surrounded with your people in the artistic environment. I provide that type of space. You know what I mean? And I got a collective, beautiful team that I work with. You know what I'm saying? So, we that's my duty. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do in my lane out there.
Okay, and that's great. So I meant to
Yeah.
ask you this. You probably answered the question, but I'm gonna ask it. What made you get into art?
Oh man. One thing about Black Americans is that my brain learns artistically. I went to school, I got my bachelor's, you know what I'm saying, in a science related field. And I taught myself the science related field, through art. You feel me? By drawing on pieces of paper, drawing out like, okay, this is, I want to be able to have a conversation with a doctor and say, okay, this is how somebody becomes anti-resistant towards a medication. How am I going to teach myself to be able to articulate this out my mouth? So I'm a drawer. You feel what I mean? I love to draw. I love music. I love our music, from R&B to hip hop to jazz to neo soul to blues to pop to rock. I love everything that we create. Art. I love our culture and certain tribes in America. We wear gold for a reason. I love you. You feel me? You feel me, sis? That's
I'm
just me though. I don't want to. I don't want to over flood it. I'm just feeling. I'm feeling good that you let me get that out, man. And I want to do this again. Real talk. I want
Oh
to do this
yeah.
again.
Okay. We would definitely do this again. I really appreciate you a lot, and I appreciate you putting your input, thoughts out there. To anybody that has gone through predatory situations like this, like abuse or domestic violence, or even experienced child abuse, my heart really goes out to you all. Um, this is not an easy subject to talk about, as the brothers mentioned, because it takes a lot of emotion.
It's hard for it's hard for us to have this conversation
Mhm.
with understanding and express, like I'm expressing from brothers that that are really hurt,
Right.
that are
And I,
really hurt.
and
It's
I
like
understand how you feel because, as you being a black man, you hearing about other black men doing things like this, it makes you feel some kind of way. It makes you feel
Facts.
like, well, dang, is it going to get any worse? Or how would the women perceive me as a man when they hear about men out there, especially those who are supposed to be conscious?
Facts.
Now, do the women? You'll start asking yourself, well, do
It's
women
more
have an issue
separation.
trusting?
It keeps us more divided.
Right,
More divided.
right. But then you gotta understand, you gotta look at the circle. You have to pay attention to the circle. I mean, because everybody that's supposed to be down or supposed to support you, they not always down for you. And you have to understand that. And the brother mentioned something on here.
I'm sorry.
Demons are involved. I hope
So
y'all
we
know that. And he has a point. There's demons everywhere. There's demons who disguise themselves as being genuine people, or people who are very, pleasant and whatnot, but on the inside they are full of demons. And
mm,
once we know that, then we'll be able to learn how to pay attention to our circle and how to, navigate around certain individuals, on how to protect ourselves from those people and keep those people away from us and away from our family. There was another question I was going to ask you. It was right off the top of my head. Oh my goodness. I
all right.
just let the question
All
slip away. But
right.
it'll come back later. It'll come
You
back.
know, we definitely gonna do this again, sis.
Okay then. All right then. Well, I appreciate you so
All right.
much, and I thank you for coming through. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I appreciate the chat for coming in and giving their thoughts and commentary. Thank you guys for
Oh, so people
watching.
leaving comments right now, sis?
Yeah, there's people leaving comments on here
Okay.
in the chat. So
Okay.
yeah, there's people. Yeah, they're watching it. But I really appreciate you guys that's been watching this channel. Make sure you support and share this video. And please, if you have children, right? It's very important for you to have this conversation with your kids. They really need to know. They gotta know about the world that's going on around them,
Facts.
whether
Yeah.
you agree to it or not. And also, you have to be able to teach them how to think for themselves and how to be able to protect themselves.
Survive.
Yes, survive.
Survive.
Yes,
Survive.
you gotta learn how to survive.
Survive.
It's a cold world out here. You gotta learn how to survive. And now I know what I was gonna ask you. Mental health. How important is it for people to get mental health? How important is mental health to you?
Oh, that mental health is extremely important.
Hmm.
Uh, if I'm gonna just use myself as a human being, sis, you know what I'm saying? I have mental breakdowns where I get angry, I get depressed, I get sad, I get frustrated. I'm a human being. Sometimes I get paranoid. I might think, you looking at me a little too long and I'm wearing a gold chain, you're making me uncomfortable. So that means, I got to do something preventative to get out this environment. But then I have to be okay. Every black man not looking at you, homie, trying to do some harm to you. You feel me? Why you crying? You gotta talk to yourself. We all have some form where we're mentally challenged to where we continue to become the God. That's the God within. The more we find that self-control, and that's becoming the master teacher. I hear a lot of people say that statement that they master teachers. And you know what? I could to title yourself and say that you got to be a bold person. And I listen to somebody, I hear about your master teacher. So you've studied this, specific area. You know what I mean? So mental health, man, it's real. Ain't nothing wrong with all the things that sisters be talking about. Do your yoga. You got a lot of brothers that don't want to do their yoga. That helps so much clearing your mind. And I'm just talking about on self-control and anger. You got domestic. You got brothers out there, that beat on sisters and shit. You feel me? Real pussy shit. You know what I'm saying? And I understand brothers and y'all might have a little beef and he might, I understand shaking her. Hey, get your ass off me. But I'm talking to the sick behavior to where now he might be doing a behavior to her that is supposed to be done to a man type behavior. You feel what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, Brothers, you got to work on it. Sometimes even verbally. Me, I'm not gonna even lie. I'm gonna talk about myself. My tongue is so fucking powerful that, the more I have to find control, what I really want to do to somebody, I really want to do to them, right? So I had to say, what can I do to hurt this person, to make them feel how I feel, because I'm that angry. So I learned, okay, but I'm doing the sick behavior because I'm saying the most. I know it's gonna it's gonna hurt their soul. So that's something I had to work on as a man. Control your tongue. Don't say that. That's not nice.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So we got all things that we got to work on. But the more we find control of that shit, that's when we become our motherfucking. That's when we become the master within ourselves. That's the God from within. That's what everybody is trying to find and wants to. Because when you find that, when you find that level to where. I said before another conversation, sis. I'm sorry, baby.
All right. All
You know
right
I get a
then.
little passionate, baby. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I see
I
that.
kiss you
I'm
from a
glad that
distance.
you
I
answered
give
that
you a
question.
hug, beloved. You know.
All right, then. I appreciate you answering the question. I appreciate this dialogue. And make sure you guys, again, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. And for those of you that's just coming in, you will have to watch the video from the very beginning to see what the subject is about. It's a pretty important, deep conversation here. And I really enjoyed this conversation. Until next time, you all take it easy. Peace and power elevation. This your girl, Tiffany. And I'm out. Peace. Thank you.
That's upset.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.